All right, let's talk about the Snowflake Data Cloud. Today, we're going to break it all down and make it super clear using a surprisingly simple analogy, a big, busy international airport.
You've been there, right? You start talking about virtual warehouses or micropartitions, and you can practically see their eyes just glaze over. It's a classic problem. How do you bridge that gap between really powerful tech and the business leaders who need to understand its value?
That's the big question we're answering today. We're going to use a simple, relatable framework that turns all those abstract tech concepts into something you can almost physically walk through.
Okay, let's dive right in. Forget about code for a minute and just picture this airport. In this world, your data are the passengers, the compute power is the gates, and all the governance, well, that's air traffic control. This is the big idea we're going to use for our whole tour.
Our tour starts with the foundation. You know, the parts of the airport that make everything else possible, even if you don't always see them.
Every great airport has runways, security, and baggage systems that just work. In Snowflake, this is the cloud services layer. Think of it as the invisible brain of the whole operation. It's constantly running, always aware, and it makes sure every single data journey is smooth and totally secure.
And you can see how each function has a perfect real-world parallel. Security and access control, that's your TSA screening. Metadata management is like the master flight schedule, telling you what data exists and exactly where it is. And query optimization, that's air traffic control, finding the most efficient route for every single request.
So the airport itself is the infrastructure, but where does the data actually live? On the planes. Snowflake's storage layer is basically a huge fleet of aircraft, each one holding your passengers, the data, safely and securely until they're ready to move.
And this is where the analogy gets really cool, because it shows how that storage is optimized. Micro-partitioning is just a super efficient seating plan. Compression is like packing luggage perfectly to save space, and my favorite, time travel, is basically the plane's black box letting you recover historical data if you ever need to.
Okay, we've got our airport and we've got our planes. Now let's get to the action. How do the passengers actually get on board and take off?
This is where all the processing happens. In Snowflake, the compute layer is made of warehouses, which are exactly like airport terminals or gates. They are the spots where data flights are boarded and the actual work gets done.
And here's the magic of it all. If you have a huge rush of passengers, you don't rebuild the airport, you just open more gates. That's multi-cluster warehousing. If it's a busy holiday season, you can add temporary gates. That's elastic scaling. And when the last flight leaves, you close the gate to save energy and money. That's auto-suspend. It's all about total flexibility.
And of course, the most important part, the passengers. Every single traveler represents a row of your data. They might be coming from different airlines, like Salesforce, marketing tools, or operational systems, but they all come together in our data airport, ready for their journey.
So with thousands of passengers and hundreds of flights, you need a powerful, intelligent system managing everything from above. Welcome to the control tower. A pilot doesn't just guess the best route from Dallas to Denver, right? The system generates a flight plan based on weather, traffic, and fuel efficiency. That is exactly what Snowflake's Query Optimizer does. You submit your request, and it automatically calculates the fastest, most cost-effective path for your data.
Behind every takeoff and landing is this incredible orchestra of coordination. That's air traffic control. In Snowflake, tools like Snowpipe, Streams, and Tasks are your ATC, making sure new data is loaded continuously, changes are tracked, and scheduled jobs run exactly on time, without any collisions.
So, the data has arrived safely. Now, how do the end users, the analysts and executives, actually interact with it and get some real value?
Think about those huge, glowing flight information boards you see in every terminal. You get a real-time summary of every flight status, right at a glance. Well, that's a materialized view. It gives analysts a quick, fresh, and always updated summary without having to requery everything from scratch. And finally, every traveler loves a comfortable lounge to relax and make sense of their journey. Snowsight is that executive lounge. It's the interface where insights come to life through dashboards, charts, and exploration, all powered by that seamless machine running just below. All right, let's bring it all together. We've toured the entire airport, from the infrastructure all the way to the lounges. Now for the cheat sheet to make sure it all sticks.
So here is the simple breakdown.
The cloud services layer is your airport infrastructure. The warehouses are the gates, and the storage is the planes themselves. Your data, of course, are the passengers, and the query optimizer is the perfect flight plan for every single trip.
And to finish the list, all that orchestration is your air traffic control, and materialized views are those flight displays. Snowsight is the lounge where you consume the data. And finally, Cortex, Snowflake's AI layer, acts as the airport's advanced analytics center, making the whole operation even smarter.
So when your boss asks what Snowflake actually does, you can tell them this. It runs just like a world-class airport, where every component works in perfect harmony. And the best part? You only pay for the gates you open and the flights you take.
And that really is the heart of it. No more glazed-over eyes, just a clear understanding of how your data can really take flight. That's modern data architecture, elegantly airborne.